Hello, and welcome to development log number 2 for my game, Pico Strategy. If you missed the first video, Pico Strategy is a turn-based strategy game that aims to be a spiritual successor to the Famicom and Advanced Wars series of games. If you want more information about it, you should really check out the first video. I'll pause here so you can. All caught up? Good. Let's talk about progress. There are a few things I finished in time for this development log, namely game persistence, game rules, context menus, and some UI additions. To start, I have some new art assets for the game. Looking at these labeled squares was getting old real fast, so I decided to test some styles for the grass, coast, and water tile sprites. The grass tiles even have some graphical variants that add just a little more variety to the visuals of the game. The coast tiles also have some graphical variants, but they serve the purpose of making the coast feel continuous and less blocky. There's even a new cursor on the way, but we'll cover it more in depth when I add its new functionality. Before, whenever you connected to the game server, you were served up a brand spanking new game. No units, a complete blank slate of a map. That doesn't work out in the end for several reasons. First off, if you are the second player to join, you won't see any of the units that player 1 has already deployed. What fun is that? Second, I want for there to be an asynchronous play mode. There's that word again. What I mean by that is a player would be able to log in, play their turn in a game, and then log out. Kind of like chess by mail. But I intend to make it more a game rule that is optional, so that players that want to just get a game done in one sitting can also feel satisfied. So, when asynchronous play mode is active, you can come and go, taking your turns as you please, but if it is off, trying to log out of a game will result in a forfeit. Back on track here, in order to do any of that, we need the game and its data to be saved somewhere. For an online game like Pico Strategy, there's no better place than a database. So anytime we get a command from the user, we update the game state, save it in the database, and send it back out to all players. Players also request the game state once they connect to the server so that they can see what has taken place prior to them hopping on. Granted, with no multiplayer lobbies or invite codes in the game, the only way to create a new game is to connect as the first player. That will change, but for now it just works. Something else the database is useful for is storing game rules. Game rules provide the values and attributes we need in order to run the game. The game rules include data for tile types and unit types. Part of the strategy in Advanced Wars was positioning your units, since each type of tile came with a defense rating and certain other bonuses. Tile types stored in the game rules will allow us to have some attributes attached to each tile that we can reference when we need it. Plus, we need to know which tiles are valid for which units, since I'm very sure that a supply truck can't swim. The tile type and unit type data get stored in the game rules, which are stored in the database and are requested before the map. In the future, I will have to implement some local storage for game rules, for use in offline single player and caching. How does a user know exactly what they can do with a unit when it's their turn? I mean, I could make them memorize all the rules like in chess, make them form grand strategies around the strict rules that take years to master, scold them for not knowing something so basic as castling. I'm kidding, of course. I added a context menu for that. When you click on a unit, the menu pops up and shows you your available actions. Right now you can just move or cancel, which closes the menu and drops the game back into an open state. Moving the unit is as easy as selecting the unit, clicking move, and then selecting a new tile to move the unit to. Eventually I'll add some more animations to this. You can't have recon units just teleporting behind you. As I add more commands to the context menu, it should fill out nicely. I also made it so when the menu is up, your focus is drawn to the object it is referring to. Lastly, and you've probably already noticed this, there are some UI additions in the form of a radial menu and a little information panel at the bottom. These are definitely not their final designs. Or at least, I hope not. The radial menu is pretty much the backbone of the context menu. It probably won't have much use outside of that. The radial menu gives you easy access to buttons when you need them, and gets out of the way when you don't. The information panel is a little more wordy than the radial menu, but for good reason. It will provide all the information you need to make good moves in the game. You can see that it has information about the tile, like its type, defense, and a little picture to help familiarize the player with it. If you hover your cursor over a unit, it will even expand to show you information about that unit, like its type and current health. There'll be a third panel added in the future that covers information on buildings the cursor's over as well. That is what I have at the moment. I plan on there to be more to come in the future, so please subscribe and click the bell if you want notifications, especially if you're interested in more updates and development logs. And if you're already subscribed, thanks for the support. I would also encourage you to join my studio's Discord if you have any questions about this project, want to collaborate on ideas, or check out other things I work on. Take care, and thanks for tuning in.